I don't get my collar fixed, I get in trouble by Sam Strickland.
Be nice, Sam.
Now, do I look all right, Sam? We're good. One of them's a little messed up. She can't pay attention if my feet get off either. So, wow, I'm ringy. Like, just turn it down a little quick. How's everybody? Great. I'm going to call today Kick You in the Teeth Sunday.
All right.
How's that? Is that what you came to church for this morning? Here's what I hope. And this really, man, this is what my prayer is today. Hopefully, you get a little offended at first. Because it's always good to get offended, because then you've touched a nerve, right? Like, if you're never offended, then you're self-righteous, so you should be offended about that. You should always be a little offended at church. So today, hopefully, I will offend you a little, but then help you a lot at the end. That'd be all right? And because if we can get hold of what God, I think, has for you today, I'm not sure that other than coming into a relationship with God, I don't think anything else can change our lives more than what I'm going to talk about today. I really have put this off too, because God has been wearing me out, and I've been telling him in a minute. And a minute has arrived. This morning, 2 hours ago, I wasn't going to do this. I just wasn't going to do this. And then I decided, you know what? We had a lot of people here last week. If we can retain half of them after today, that'll be all right. How's that? How's that for odds? Every time I say stuff like that, my wife cringes, man. She's like, well, we're doing so good. I hadn't blown this place up in a while, though, so let's do it. Yeah. All right, today what I want to talk to you about comes from Matthew chapter 25. And in Matthew chapter 25, what's going on is Jesus is teaching, and he's teaching a parable. Now, it's the parable of the talents, and you may have heard this story, so I'm not going to read it to you. I encourage you to go home and read this story. In Matthew chapter 25, there is a manager, an owner, and he's going on a trip, and so he calls 3 servants in, and he puts them in charge over a portion of his estate. One he gives 5 talents, one he gives 2 talents, and one he gives 1 talent. Or you can just think of it as 5 chunks of stuff, of responsibility. And another one gets 2 chunks of responsibility. Another one gets 1 chunk of responsibility. Now, the one that gets 1 chunk, he's probably a dimwit, because you don't want to give all of your stuff to somebody who, who knows what with it, go to a casino or something. I say that because here's what happened this week. I'm just gonna pour it out there, because you're gonna hear, and then there's gonna be rumors, and then it's gonna be bad. Okay, so I'm gonna lay it out. My wife and a bunch of women went to Joyce Meyer Women's Conference this week. So all the husbands and most of the band went to the casino last night. Turnabout fair play, right? Now, we didn't go to the casino. We went to an event center because there was a concert, and it was a night of blues, and Johnny Lang was playing, and it was just unbelievable, awesome, and cool. The bad thing is, though, I didn't get home till like 2:45, and I am not a teenager anymore. That was stupid and will never be done again. So when you hear that Todd went to the casino, I just want you to know that we were worshiping on the way. Steve took his tithe check and was trying to increase for the church. He thought if he gave it to me, it would be all right, though. No, really, we didn't do anything wrong. We were good little boys. It was pretty cool. So anyway, I just want to clear the rumor mill before I get started. All right, so this one guy gets 1 talent. Back to the story, right? What did that have to do with anything? And where did we get there? Sometimes you just wonder. All right, so one guy gets 5, one guy gets 2, one guy gets 1, and the manager goes off. And here's what happens. The guy that gets 5, he goes to work with what he was given, and he doubles his 5 and turns it to 10. Because 5 times double is 10. The one that got 2 went to work with what he was given. Even though it was less, he went to work with what he was given. And he doubled it, and he had 4. 2 times 2. The guy who had 1, though, he was afraid, he was fearful, and maybe just a little lazy too. But he takes what he has and he buries it. He doesn't really do anything with it. So when the manager comes back, he comes back and he says, "So what did you do with what I gave you?" And the one says, "Well, you gave me 5 and here's 10. And he says, "Man, that's awesome." Well, he didn't say it like that, but He said, "That's awesome." And the one that had 2, he said, "Here's 4. He said, "That's awesome. Even though you didn't have as much, you still doubled what I gave you." And the one that had 1 said, "Well, I knew you were a hard man. So what I did is I didn't want to lose what you gave me, so I buried it. And here's the 1 you gave me back." Now, this trips the manager out, and he sends him. He says something about gnashing of teeth, like, he's pretty ticked off. And he says, take the 1 that I gave this guy and give it to the one who had 10, because I know he will do something with that. And the very next thing Jesus says, there's a break in our Bibles right there, okay? And that break says final judgment, right? But Jesus didn't say, "Okay, enough of that. Now we're going to talk about this," right? He doesn't break like that. He's talking about being a wise manager. Then he shifts into this story about sheep and goats. And the story about sheep and goats has to do with, what did you do in the circumstance and situations you were put in? See, he doesn't change, and there's whole theologies built over these verses about final judgment, but that's not what it's about. It's the same story. It's another example. Jesus is teaching. He's not giving a theology lesson. He's teaching about, what did you do with what I gave you? Now, what I want to talk to you today about is stewardship. And I know stewardship is kind of a dirty word, and everybody like, "Oh, here we go again. Got to tithe," whatever. Okay. This is non-religious Christianity. Okay. What I want to talk to you about today is life. Real life. Everyday life that we all live. And here's what I see. This is the offensive part. Okay. I'm just going to warn you. Everybody say to yourself right now, "I'm not going to get offended." Too much. Just enough, right?
Bring it on.
Man. Okay, here's what I see. In our world today, I see a lot of young, healthy people living off the system. People who are able to provide for themselves but won't. I see people who run like mad and never seem to have enough time, but are so undisciplined and unstructured that they can't get anywhere on time. I see in our world today, people won't go look for a job. Or if they have a job, they lose it because they won't get up and go to work. I see people working very, very hard, providing for people who won't do anything. And I see that in the world today. But here's the saddest part about that. If you are of Christ, then we should think and act as if we were different, like we know where everything comes from. Like, as a follower of Jesus, I know that everything I am and everything I have is a gift given to me by God. My health, my time, my money, my everything is a gift given to me by God. But why is it that the Christian community looks absolutely no different than the community in the world? No difference. Same unemployment, same people out of work, same people living off the system. It's consistent. It's consistent across the board. Now, God says He will provide our every need if we make His kingdom our primary concern. If we will live for Him and His kingdom and His way, He will provide everything we need. Supernaturally. Remember I talked about supernatural last week, how it just becomes natural. Supernaturally, God will provide everything we need. Now, this is the offensive part, and I have to say this because what I see is it's just lazy. There's no gumption, no drive, no life. And the God that I know gives life. And His followers should be passionate and driven and taking this world. We should look different, act different, live different. Not because it's a religious thing, but because we know something that everybody else doesn't. I get tired of seeing, and this is in the church, not in the world. I get tired of seeing the same people going through the same struggles over and over and over and over and over and over. I said, I get tired of seeing the same people living off the system. Now, I have to tell you, man, we are a family, the followers of Jesus. And when there's need, we should take care of one another. Absolutely take care of one another. There should never be a need in the church that goes unmet. But at the same time, we shouldn't be enabling the people around us to continue to be poor stewards. Because in the example and the teaching Jesus went through, what the one who was a bad steward had even what he had taken away and given to people who would do something with it. Now, what I want you to understand here today is that I'm not condemning you at all. And if you're extremely uncomfortable right now, I say, man, this could be the greatest day of your life. Because to realize and to come to some kind of realization within ourselves that I'm one of them. I'm a taker. I'm not a contributor. That I'm taking constantly, and I'm scamming constantly, and I'm getting by constantly. The good news for you today is we don't have to live this way. We don't have to live this way anymore. If you're in good health, if you're in health, is anybody in here not hurt? I mean, like, everybody, is anybody not tired? I mean, everybody's tired. Everybody hurts. Everybody gets worn out. Everybody gets frustrated. We're all the same. This world is tough, man. Living in this physical world stinks. Like, it'd be better to just be a spirit. And plus you weigh a lot less, which is cool. Everybody struggles. But what we're called to do is take every good gift that we've been given and do the absolute most with it that we can do. Amen. Now, right now, I want to get real with you because I hadn't yet. Now, right now, I want to get real with you. If you continue to struggle in your finances and struggle on jobs and struggle with money and making money, you have to look at some things. There is a competition factor in jobs right now, is there not? Yes. And I've been an employer, I've ran businesses, I've owned businesses, and I've been an employee. And what I've found in my work life is the people who contribute to making the company the most get to keep their jobs. And the people who drag in late and call in sick, the people who are inconsistent, the people who leave early, who take long breaks, who talk on the phone, lose their jobs first. It's a tough world. People are having to cut back. Companies are cutting back. There's still jobs. The thing is, they're going to the best people. So we have an option when we get to that point. Do I give up and live off the system? Or do I buckle down and become a good, wise steward with what I've been given? I want to talk to you a second about your money. Stewardship has a lot to do with money, but it doesn't only have to do with money. It's about the life you've been given. Money's tough to come by right now. The jobs are paying less than they used to pay, right? I mean, in general, you're seeing a lot of incomes going down, not up. Which means we have to be better stewards with what we've been given. How do you spend your money, or do you even know? I want to help you so bad today. And I'm just going to give you some simple things you can do to help you out. You need to know how much money you make. Does everybody in here know how much money you make? Like you know right now how much money you have to live on next week. How many guys work on commission? Anybody? I worked on commission my whole life, man. I never knew from week to week, But the good thing about working on commission, man, is if you really need money, you can go get it. The bad thing about working on commission, if you get lazy, you starve. Most of you don't work on commission, so you know about how much money you're going to have to make it. Listen to this, write this word down, to the B word. You need a budget. And here's what you need worse than a budget. You need a budget manager. Anybody can have a budget. I had a budget forever, but when I got a budget manager, my wife, she is Hitler with money. I mean, just tyrant. Have to sneak and hide money. No, that's not true. She loves me. Who wouldn't? You need a budget. And what you need to do on this budget is you need to write down every single thing that you spend money on. Everything. You know how much it costs to go in Walmart? $50. Now, there's an entry fee. It's $50 to get out. There's an entry fee at Walmart. I don't know if you're aware of that. If you don't have to go to Walmart, don't. If you need one thing, do without. I'm telling you, $50 to go into Walmart. And you don't get anything. I mean, it's like you carry it. You don't need a buggy to push it out. You carry it out in a bag, like one. Don't go to Walmart. Guys, you have to budget. You have to know what money you have coming in, and you have to know what you are spending your money on. Now, here's the thing. And I said this my whole life, so I beat you to it. If you don't take the first tenth and return it to whose it is, you're robbing from Him. And the rest of everything you have is under curse. And it'll never be enough. I don't care if it's $1 million a week, it won't be enough. Stewardship isn't about amounts. Okay, I need you to get this. Stewardship has nothing to do with how much, but what you do with what you have. And I promise you, if you don't start on your budget with the first tenth, and some of you are doing the math right now and you're going, there is absolutely no way. Now, I can give you dozens and dozens and dozens of testimonies on why if you don't, there is no way. That's enough of that. I mean, honestly, you're either going to do that or not, so there's no need to harp on it. If you don't return your first tenth to God, then your budget's kind of shot anyway. So I'm assuming that if you want to excel, if you want to have a blessed life, if you want to have a life beyond what you can comprehend, if you want to be stewards, then you'll start there with obedience in that. But then the next thing we need to do is figure out what are we spending our money on. Now listen to me, and don't get offended. I love guitars. I mean, I love them. I'd marry them. I love my wife more, but not that much more. I love them. But if I need money, guess what goes? How many guitars have you guys seen me play? Everything I got's for sale. Always. The thing is, I don't buy guitars unless I have money to buy a guitar. Now, this is an issue, and I know this is an issue. And it's something to do with our psychological makeup, but I've seen this more times than you can imagine. I will see people not have the money to pay their bills, not just bills, but I mean electric bill, house, that type of thing. But turn around and spend that money on something that's completely unnecessary because it relieves temporarily that feeling of frustration of being broke. I have nothing against tattoos, man. If I could come up with something as cool as me, I'd tattoo it all over me. But tattoos are expensive. And to not pay our bills and get a tattoo is not good stewardship. To take government assistance and buy frivolous things, it's not good stewardship. I know. Somebody's got to say it though, right? And look, this is not the world. The world's take what you can get, man. That's what makes the world the world. Jack anybody you have to jack, take what you can get, and do what you want to with it. It's your life, live it. But we're followers of Jesus. We know where our stuff comes from. We need a budget. And when you add up all you spend, And it stinks, man. Have anybody ever done it? Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And you look at how much money you got, and you realize this is less than this, right? Now, there is a solution to that in the world. Well, you get a credit card to make up the difference. You get a loan to make up the difference, right? But if I'm a good steward, I need to get this under this, right? But Todd, you don't understand. I lost my job. I lost this. We lost two incomes and went to one. My salary got cut by 50%. The only job I can get is half of what I used to make. Adjust this below this. That's called stewardship. It stinks. But who does well with what he's been given, much more will be given. It's a season. It's a season. There is a feeling of being a good steward that is unbelievable. It's so refreshing. It's like God actually consuming your life, and you're like, this is good. This is a better way to live. So that's why we are to live as good stewards, right? Now, say you've cut everything there is, and I mean, you're watching antenna TV, and you're talking on an old-timey cell phone. You're carrying a box. Y'all remember that? A cell phone where you had to carry the box? You're talking on one of those. You've done everything you can do. It's expensive to live. The rent is high. Buying a house is high. Everything's high. Taxes are high. Everything's high. And you've done everything you can do. Okay, brace yourself. Everybody grab your seat. You're going to have to get your wife to get another job. I mean, no. That's what I did. Look, you may have to work 2 jobs. It's not against the law, you know. Season. If your income went to half, maybe you have to work double. Stewardship. What are you going to do to get by? What are you going to do with what you've been given? Maybe you have to work 3 jobs. There was a time in my life, my mom got real sick. Real sick. Like she was in bed, and we were little. She was sick. And remember my dad would go to work, and I don't remember what day it was, but it would be days before he would come home. He would sleep for a couple hours in his truck before going to his next job. He was working around the clock for days at a time. You know, right up till he had his heart attack. Don't do things that are unhealthy. He could probably give you that advice. But you know what? He did what he had to do, whatever he had to do, to provide stewardship. Now he's retired and he don't really do anything. It comes back around. No, if you've been around him, man, he'll work you to death. The thing is, we don't like that. We don't like having to get another job. You don't even like me telling you that that's what you need to do. But if you're able to provide for yourself in any way, to take assistance from other people who are working to provide for themselves is not right. It's not right. You're not called to be on your own, but you're called to take what you've been given and use it well. Stewardship. God also gave us our time. This is the S word. The one I hate. Schedule. How many of you guys feel like a schedule is a prison sentence? Like if you put me on a schedule, I feel like you just tied me down. I'm a free spirit. Don't put me on a schedule. But listen, if we're not scheduled, we waste our greatest gift. You think money is your greatest gift, but it's not. Money will come and go. Man, the older I get, the more I know you can have money, blow money, have money again, blow money again. But one thing that I found you don't get back is time. Schedules. How many of you guys got a schedule? Unbelievable. I thought nobody. Because it's the thing I struggle with the most. That's good that many of you guys have a schedule. How many of you stay on your schedule? Sam, show off. She stands up in front of the camera so everybody will see. Here's the thing, okay? I know I'm going long. Okay, here's the thing. If you're bad with your time, get on a schedule. Get an alarm clock, set it, and get up.
There you go. That's
All right. You need 7 or 8 hours sleep, okay?
Go to bed early.
Set it and get up. Get up. Do what you need to do. Make your schedule. At 7 o'clock, I'm eating breakfast. At 7:30, I'm doing whatever. I'm watching whatever, 30 minutes of TV. You schedule stuff in there you like to do, but get on a schedule. Then I'm cleaning the house. Then I'm taking care of this. Then I'm taking care of that. And start laying out your schedule. Get disciplined. If you guys are out of work right now, get more disciplined with your schedule. Don't waste the time you're not working. Set a schedule, get on the schedule, and start working on that schedule. When you get structure in your life, you're going to find that you have all kinds of time that you've been wasting. Do you realize how important it is to do well with what you've been given? Because if you use well what you've been given, what's the biblical principle? You will receive more. Are you serious? I can receive more time? Yes. Yes. If you are a good steward with your time, you are going to have more time. And time is precious and time is valuable. Find a schedule, get on it, be a good steward with it, be disciplined and structured in it. And listen to me, guys, I'm telling you this, if we get disciplined, and I know we hate that word, but if we get disciplined and structured in our time and in our finances, your life is going to change. Your life is going to take off. You're going to excel. You're going to be so valuable. There are going to be people offering you jobs with advances. You're going to become an employee that you cannot live without. You get more done in less time, and you're saving your company and making your company money. And when you're making your company money, you become a valuable asset. And even if they don't appreciate it, somebody will, because God is the one giving you this gift, and He will promote you. He will promote you. If you do well with what you've been given, your life will radically change. Radically change. See, today we may have came in here all jacked up, and it's okay because everybody is, but we don't have to be that way. We don't have to stay that way. We don't have to live on the gravy train. We can get off, we can sit down and say, God, thank you for my health. Thank you for the abilities you've given me. And I don't care if the only thing you can do is push a broom. Man, push it. Be the best broom pusher in the world. You are You are uniquely and incredibly created as an individual, special by God to do something that only you can do. You are the absolute best in the world at whatever God made you for. Find what you're the best in the world at and go after it with everything you've got. Look, man, it's not too late. Everybody do this. That means you're breathing. What that means is it's not too late. If you want a different life, figure out what you are uniquely created for and go get it. You might have to go back to school. You might have to go get training. You might have to quit in the middle and go to the bottom to ever reach the top. Don't fear what it looks like right now. Because if you're a good steward and you're faithful with what you've been given, then much more will be given to you. That's what it means to be Christian. Those are the principles of God, the teachings of Jesus. See, we don't have to live like the world lives. We're not stuck. We're never stuck. We are never stuck. Isn't that good news? You may have not had parents. You may have been third generation on the system. It's cool. You don't have to be anymore, though. Break that cycle. Go out and find what you and you alone can do better than anybody in the world and become unique. Guys, there is so much freedom in doing well with what you've been given, even if it's not much. There is so much freedom in not being dependent on a system. There's so much life and pride and chest pump to knowing I'm doing well with what I've been given. See, you can get by, but that's not life. Don't you want more than getting by? We don't want to just get by. We don't want to just get the handout and take what we can get and take from here and take from there. Man, we want more out of life. We were created for more. We were created for the greatness of God's kingdom. And we all, and I don't care where you're at, I don't care what your financial situation is, I don't care what your work history is, I don't care what your disciplines in life are to right now when you came in, but they don't have to be that way this afternoon. God loves you, do you know that? And He's given you every good gift you need to navigate this world. He's given you everything you need to be a success by His standard, by His measure. And today's the day that we can change. Today's the day we can take hold of that life. Today is the day that we can kick the chains of the system off, stand up with our God on our side, and become the people He wants us to become. That's what He wants for us. And that's what non-religious stewardship looks like. Let me pray for you.